I was born and raised in Pukekoi. I was brought up on the dark side. My environment was drugs, alcohol, violence, and gangs. For me, I seen a lot of domestic violence within our home. My mum being beaten all the time, pretty much daily. Never seen my mum without bruises, without a black eye. The drugs was really heavy in our home. Mum was a hard abuser. Her partners. And at this time, she was with a patch member of the Black Power in Pukekoi. And he showed a lot of violence towards myself as well. He would beat me up. Growing up, I just become a lost kid. I didn't like school. I struggled at school. I didn't know how to read or write. I guess I become a product of my environment that I grew up in. I started doing drugs at the age of 7. Age of 13, I was with the Westside Outlaws in Hamilton. I just had no boundaries, no limits, and my crime escalated to armed robberies, home invasions, and just assaulting people for no reason. From there, I had a situation where a man's lost his life. I was 15 years old. We just finished getting into a fight, and we needed a way to get out of the scene. And seen the car there, so we ran over to the car. The owner come out of the toilets and approached us. I looked back and my co-offender, King, hit our victim. It wasn't until the next day, I was actually sitting at the bus stop and my mum was reading the newspaper. Had the car that we were driving around in, and on the top it said that a man had been killed. I was walking up my street at this time in Hamilton, and the police pulled up next to me and arrested me in the street. I used to have flashbacks all the time, nightmares, confined in one room, and there's nothing else to think about in order for me to get out of jail, which I've counted as around 60 programs. But inside prison, and also once I got out on parole, as soon as I got home, the drugs were there, the alcohol was there. So I didn't have any chance really to go straight back into it. My mum got in contact with Nikki. She sort of helped me and my father with parole. I got out of jail, and I guess our friendship just developed.
Pretty sort of scared at the beginning because I knew of his past, but he was saying, oh no, that's old me, I'm going to change for you, I won't be involved with gangs, I'm not going to do drugs, I won't drink, I'll get a job, I'll take care of you. And so I sort of believed it. He was quite convincing. He started being quite controlling. Would always say, well, where are you going? What time are you coming back? Who are you with? I'm just going down to the shop, so I'll be back in 10 minutes. It was sort of like, okay. I used to see his eyes go dark, made threats, and then it was probably a couple of months after that, he hit me real hard and wouldn't stop.
It all started backhand. I'll be beating there for hours, almost killed her on a few occasions. I didn't know how to control it, especially seeing my mother be beaten all the time. I remember vividly me telling myself that I'll never do that, that I'll never ever become like him. And I've become 100 times worse.
I was just constantly just a punching bag for him. I just didn't know how to get out of it. He used to strangle me. He used to just, like if I ran, he'd just find any weapon around just to try to break my ankle so I couldn't run. He'd stomp on me, all sorts of just evil stuff, really. Bring me close to death. He had a gun to my head. I was actually on his actual 21st birthday. I was beaten for 6 hours. Yeah, straight, till someone actually turned up at our house. I just felt worthless. I felt like I was nothing. I used to want to die. I'd had enough of trying to survive. I just thought one day, like, I'm actually going to control my death. I'll do it myself instead of him. We made a noose and went over a tree and just jumped out of the tree. Yeah, fortunately, the cop that had just arrested him, they were pulling out of the driveway and he seen me in the corner of his eye and they come back and cut me out of the tree. I'd gone from this confident woman to just a nothingness. Like, I was just so empty. I just didn't even know who I was anymore.
To be real, I just didn't know where to get help. Didn't know how to ask for help. The first point of call was through Kane Warren. He was the first one to make contact. I remember him just calling me saying that he was with Man Up. If I wanted help, he was there. And at that point, I didn't want it. I still wanted to carry on doing drugs, being a part of the gangs. I told him to get effed and never to call me again. After that phone call, if I remember correctly, I gave Nikki a good hiding for even reaching out for help. I remember getting another phone call from Kane. I remember taking that phone call and saying, yeah, I'm ready. I thought he was nuts, to be honest. But I'm also thankful that he was persistent, and even though the first one wasn't good, that last phone call really was a turning point. For me, it hasn't just been me and my family that's gotten us through this. It's taken a whole iwi.
I could hear the cry within his heart, within his wairua. I want change, brothers. I want change. And so just for me personally, while I was sitting there listening to him, you're in the right environment, we can help you. Yeah. And we put the support of the Man Up Brotherhood and also with the legacy. And then the next thing, the transformational side, the iwi tapu, the house of God, getting them in that environment, but under the revelatory word, the apostles' doctrine that this cuts through it all, this saves time, heartache, trouble and everything. So you just get them in those environments and then work them through the processes, In regards to our tribe and our hapu, we're here to assist what is already going on within our iwi and our hapu, but we're here to assist with the wairua of Christ, because that's what's helped me, that's what's helped Ben and thousands of others. Yeah, it ain't no social program or government or political arena, or no money can help that. It's only something that comes within, and that within is what we have as a people that has come from Te Atua o Ihi Karaiti. And that's what we have, and that's why it works. That's the defining thing for us in Man Up, Legacy and the Iwi Tapu.
He's done a couple of awards things this year, so he's done the Dairy Industry Awards, we've received 3 Merit Awards, and he's recently been a finalist in the Ahuwhenua Young Māori Farmer Award. And to see him up there, it was just a proud moment, because I was just sort of actually sitting there watching him on stage, just sort of shaking my head, like, how did this happen? So far from where he was to where he is I just sort of, I was taken aback actually, but it was a moment.
I see myself as a great father, great husband, great role model for a lot of our rangatahi, a good example for people that have been through the same upbringing and wanting to get out of the system. Just a ray of hope. And it doesn't matter where we come from, it doesn't matter what we've been through, that anything is possible if we put our minds to it, if you get the right people around you.
The family of a Wellington man brutally killed by 3 teenagers in Hamilton last year have offered their forgiveness at sentencing today.
One of Mr Stewart's daughters, Stephanie Falloon, described her father as a hard-working man who never invited trouble.
I believe I am to forgive Connor, Ben and William, and I do. I heard today, if I give forgiveness, I will be forgiven also. We all need this. I pray for healing for my family, and Connor and Ben and William, and their families also.
The family were ready to forgive. 3 of them read victim impact statements in court, including his brother, Gordon Stewart.
My hope and prayer is that Connor, Ben and William involved in this crime will be able to reflect on their actions deeply, take stock of their lives and the pathway that they've been on, and get all the help that's available to turn their lives around.
I think going back to their time in the courthouse where I heard the families cry, I heard their hurt, but I also heard them the first time in my life where I first ever experienced forgiveness, and them say that they would want to see us do well with ourselves. For me, rather than saying something to them, I would love to show them something. That's that their forgiveness really meant something to me, that I wanted to do something with my life, and that I'm really, really sorry that they had to go through their pain, that they had to lose their father, their brother, their granddad. That they don't no longer get to spend that time with them. With them anymore. That I'm sorry for what part I played. That my way of giving back to him is through me changing my life.
Kia ora again, everybody. Firstly, I just want to acknowledge some very special guests here at the church today, and that is the family of the late Donald Stewart, represented here today by the brother Gordon Stewart, and I believe his wife and son that are here today. We'd like to just welcome you, honour you, and if you could please, church, whānau, put your hands together. Welcome.
Kia ora whānei. First of all, I just want to thank you all for being here today. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. I just want to acknowledge the family here today. And again, I just want to say sorry. Throughout my whole journey, all I've ever thought about was you guys. And what I could do in my life in order to give back. And just remember that time in the courthouse very vividly. And the forgiveness on that day was so powerful. And it's sort of what set me up to bring out my potential and being able to set me free. And I thank you for that. And on behalf of me and my whānau, we have a taonga here for you. For you and the family, that today is a new beginning. That time in the courtroom was real significant for me. And I know that it was hard for you guys as well. And yeah, I just thank you for being here today. It's a taonga for you guys.
Kia ora koutou. Lovely. I just want to say, Ben, this has been a special moment to see your story. We were crying in the seat there. We've cried a few times over the years, but we were crying when we saw your story and saw the change that's come in your life. And I know you'd sought help in all sorts of programs, but we're grateful to God for raising up these people and Man Up and Te Tangata. And I think many times over the years since Don's death, I've thought it would be great if I could meet up with you. I know that when you're inside, you wrote a very powerful letter, a number of pages to us expressing what you were feeling about Don's death. And a number of times over the years, I thought maybe through restorative justice people we could have a kōrero. I never did that, but to get to meet like this is just really, really special. And to see your story, hear your story, and see the transformation in your life, it's just really, really powerful. It's wonderful. And I think the grace of God is just evident in the change from what you were to what you are now, and God's good hand on you. And we're all messed up. I'm messed up too. And I still need God's restoring and transforming in my life. And this is just a beautiful thing to meet with you and with the whānau, with Nikki. And I know after the court sentencing way back then, 2010, we had such a lovely conversation with your mum outside the court. We hugged each other, and I think we're all feeling pretty broken. But to be here today is just really powerful. It's really, really wonderful, and I just give thanks to God, and thanks to God for you people that have just walked the journey, and to know that you're now managing a farm of 1,000 dairy cows, and that your heart is to, you and Nikki, to eventually have a farm where you can actually help people when they come out and help them walk the journey and experience God's touch on their lives. So your story is very powerful for all of us, I'm sure, and we want to see more change. So bless you and thank you. Thank you so much for this.
And I just want to say that it's powerful for our families because, you know, perhaps through today and the iwi and through the church here, Destiny Church, we can actually come together as families in reconciliation. You know, Tracy, Don's daughter, she came over to our place on Tuesday because Gordon was really keen for her to come with us today, but she was really tentative. She was really quite nervous about it. But we just really hope that through Man Up and through the church here and through other Christian people that families can come back together again. You know, it's just lovely to see your mum, Ben, you know, who we just felt that connection at the courtroom the day of your sentencing. And, you know, we've never forgotten you and prayed for the boys who actually were part of Don's death. And, you know, we really pray that through you, Ben, that Connor and the other boy, is it William, may actually see and feel that change is possible, because it's always possible with Jesus. So thank you. Thank you, Pastor Brian and Hannah, for having us here today and for hosting this amazing get-together of peoples. Really, that's what it's about, is peoples coming together. So thank you.
Kia ora koutou katoa. Ko hau te nani o Ben, grandmother. This is the first time I've ever seen this. I know it's hurt. You know, life goes on. We must always protect one another. But this is the first time I've ever seen this film and what happened to my grandson. I'm sorry for you people. What happened? I don't normally get up here to fight kōrero amongst some people. Our Māori people, we get the man kōrero. But saying that you start to talk, I'm going to talk. I am going to talk. But forgive me, my grandson, and my family, very, very much. And it's lovely to be here. And you, ko koe te rangatira o tēnei hāhi. E kai tiaki e mātou katoa. Tēnei te wātaka kōrero ki a koe, o ngā iwi katoa. Kia ora koutou katoa. Finish? Finish? Still, wait, eh? Go. I'm going to sing a song. Te aroha, te whakapono, me te rangi ni e tātou e. Ano te aroha, te whakapono me te rangi ma ri ta 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 we kia ora koutou, kia ora koutou.